Good evening, everyone. Maybe with the microphone it will be better. Welcome for this session. Today we will continue exploring the Lamrim together. Lamrim is Tibetan for the graduated path to awakening that was taught by the great Rinpoche, Lama Tsongkhapa, in Tibet. And actually, if you read his work, the Lamrim Chenmo, the great stages of the path to awakening, then at the beginning he largely praises Lama Atisha and says that this great treatise was actually inspired by the work of Lama Atisha, and especially his text called A Lamp for the Path to Awakening. So we have explored already the topics of the mind. You know, what is the mind? Oh, there is no sound. Jatinder is saying, cannot hear. Can others hear? Am I audible? Hello, hello. Can someone confirm it is audible?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. So, Jatinder, I guess it's from your side. I'm sorry. So, as I was saying, this is the third session, I believe. So, in the first two sessions, we explored the nature of the mind, continuity of the mind. The previous session, we explored our precious human life and the great freedoms and endowments that we have. And so today we will explore the topic of impermanence and death, how this life of leisures and opportunities that we have, how it will, whatever we do, it will inevitably come to an end, and how it can come to an end very soon at any moment, and therefore how to take advantage of this precious human life as much as possible before it ends. Before we do that, we will do a short placement meditation, a short shamatha meditation to arrive here in this space and for this session, to try and be concentrated for this session. Then we will briefly introduce the topic of impermanence and death, after which there will be a first opportunity for discussion. We'll be able to exchange our thoughts and our experience about the topic. Then we will engage in a guided analytical meditation on the topic to try and, bring to heart, so that it becomes our experience that we might die at any time, and that the remaining time that we have, how to take advantage of this precious human life. And then after the meditation, again, we'll have another opportunity to discuss, and in particular to discuss and exchange what was our experience of the meditation, or if we want to add, more thoughts about the topic of impermanence and death. So let us start with arriving here on the cushion, arriving at home in front of your device, trying to leave our worries outside, coming in the present moment for this session. We can do that by taking 3 slow breaths and deep breaths, so that the stomach rises and falls with every inhalation and expiration. Every time we inhale, trying to refresh our attention. Every time we exhale, trying to relax. Now let us do a short shamatha meditation for a few minutes. Shamatha is Sanskrit for calm abiding. It is called shine in Tibetan. So there are 4 main instructions for shamatha practice. The first one is to look at our body posture. Ideally, we sit in the posture of Buddha Vairochana, which has 7 points. I'll not go into detail here, the 7 points. The most important of the 7 is for your body to be upright, for your back to be straight. The second instruction for shamatha practice is to decide what is our object of meditation. If you're familiar with this practice, I would recommend you use the object you're the most familiar with. And if this is new for you, I would suggest taking as an object the breathing sensation at the entrance of the nostrils. Try to place all your attention on the breathing sensation at the entrance of the nostrils. Not the body part as such, but the sensation as you breathe in and out. Perhaps you'll notice, like a cooling sensation as you breathe in and like a warmer sensation as you breathe out. Try to place all your focus, all your attention on that. We'll do that for a few minutes, and you will notice that we tend to get distracted. It's not the most interesting object in the world, and especially in this digital era where we have all these notifications and exciting flashing things on our screens, focusing on the breath can be a little bit challenging. So during the few minutes we will meditate, you will see that we will get distracted either with mental excitement, such as thoughts, thinking about the past, thinking about the future, as well as with mental laxity or dullness or lethargy. The mind will start to sink, we have this tendency to fall asleep, we start daydreaming, and therefore we also lose our object of meditation. The final instruction is good news. There are 2 antidotes that we can use to counteract these distractions. The first antidote is called introspection. Introspection, you can imagine it is like an agent in the background of your mind that is checking, what is my mind doing? Is it meditating? Is it focused on the breathing sensation at the entrance of the nostrils? Or is it distracted with thoughts or with lethargy? And the moment introspection notices that the mind is not meditating, that the mind is distracted, then we make use of the second antidote, which is called mindfulness. And the role of mindfulness is to bring the mind back, to remember the object of meditation, to bring the attention back to the object of meditation and making sure our attention remains on the object of meditation. Let us do this meditation for about 5 minutes, making sure to use the antidotes of introspection and mindfulness. 5 minutes. Gently come out of the meditation. And now that we are hopefully a bit more focused, let us start to think about the topic of today, impermanence and death. And actually, I would like to start with why it is important to think about this topic. In the Lamrim, it is said that, if we don't contemplate that this precious human life that we have at the moment, with so many leisures and opportunities, if we don't contemplate that this life might end at any moment, if we are not mindful that, today we might die, tomorrow we might die, then we will not remember, the Dharma. We will not remember the teachings of the Buddha. Because we think, we have time. So we have time to enjoy, distractions, to enjoy pleasure. So Dharma is not our priority. Then it is said that even if we remember the Dharma, if we are not mindful of our upcoming death, even if we remember the Dharma, then we will not practice it. We will not put the teachings of the Buddha into practice. Then even if we practice the Dharma, if we are not mindful of our upcoming death, then we will not practice purely, not with the right intention, not with the right motivation, because our practice will be mixed with, attachment to the comfort of this life and the mundane concerns or worldly dharmas. We'll be, even if we practice dharma, we will be preoccupied with, wanting pleasure, not wanting pain, thinking about our reputation, wanting to hear good things, not wanting to hear bad things, and so on and so forth. Then, even if we do remember Dharma, even if we practice it, and even if we practice it purely, if we are not mindful of our upcoming death, then our practice will not be persistent, because there will always be something else to do that is more urgent, more important than putting the teachings of the Buddha into practice. Then it is said that if we don't remember our upcoming death, then many of our actions will be unwise or negative, because focused on this life, as if we would live for another 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 or more years, not thinking we might die today, then we are concerned about this life and not about the future lives. So our actions, can be very worldly, very mundane, or even negative, not too wise. And then finally, the big disadvantage of not being mindful of our upcoming death is that when the time of death will come, then we'll have many regrets. We might wish to, study this or that text, do this or that meditation, this or that retreat. If you are not mindful of death, then it's not a priority, then We might think, oh, I'll do this retreat in 10 years. I'll study this text when I'll be retired, or when I have a month of holiday or so, something like that. Then suddenly death comes and we regret that we didn't get to do those things. On the other hand, if we are mindful that we might die today, might die tomorrow, we might die at any time, we might die very soon, if we are mindful of that, then whatever we do will become beneficial. Our spiritual practice will become more powerful. And then when the time of death comes, we are more peaceful, the mind is more happy, and no regrets are there because we prepared for that moment. So the guided meditation we will do today is, you might have heard about it before, it's called the 9-point death meditation. So there are 3 main points we are meditating on. The first one is that death is definite, Whatever we do, we cannot escape death. Death is inevitable. At some point we will die. Then the second point is that we don't know when we will die. The time of death is uncertain. Then the third point that we will contemplate is that at the time of death, the only thing that really helps us is how much we have, applied the teachings of the Buddha, how much we have practiced the Dharma. Because the only thing we carry with us when we die is the imprints that are left on the mind. So let us look more into detail into these 3 main points. So each of these 3 points has 3, sub-points that we will contemplate. So the first point is that death is definite. Whatever happens, death is inevitable. Whatever happens at one point or the other, we will have to leave this body behind, we will die. So the first sub-point for this one is that everybody has to die. There is no one, you cannot think of anyone who has escaped death. You can think of all the people, for example, who lived in the 19th century. There is not one that is still alive today. All of them have passed away. Then the second point is that as time goes, our lifespan is continuously decreasing. As time goes, we are closer and closer to death. Every second, we are 1 second closer to death. Then finally, the amount of time that we have to practice the Dharma is very little. The time that we have to put the teachings of the Buddha into practice is very small. We can do a simple mathematics. Let's say somebody lives around 80 years, which is a very long lifespan, in this day and age. It's already quite long. So a third, perhaps, is spent sleeping, right? Let's say 75, a lifespan of 75 years old, so it's easier to calculate. So somebody lives 75 years old, a third of that life is spent sleeping. So we are left with 50 hours left. 50 years are left of this 70 years lifespan. From these 50 years, we can also remove, the first, let's say 15 years. We are too young, as a kid to study, contemplate, meditate. And perhaps you can also remove the last, 5-10 years when the body gets too tired to make the effort also to meditate, practice, study. So we can remove, let's say, another 20 years. We are left with 30 years. Now let us look. Most of us in a day, so a third is spent sleeping and perhaps another third is spent working. Then how much these days is spent, scrolling on social media? How many hours a day? So yeah, I will not carry on with the math, but you get an idea that the time that is left to actually put the Buddha's teachings into practice is very small, is very little. Now the second major point is that we don't know when we will die. The time of death is uncertain. So the 3 points under this one is that the life expectancy of humans is uncertain. Some die very soon after they are born. Some die when they are children. Some die as teenagers, young adults. Some die in their 60s, 70s, 80s, or more. It's completely uncertain. There is no fixed life expectancy for human beings. Then there are many things that actually can kill us. So many different kinds of diseases, so many kinds of accidents that can happen. There are many, many causes for death. So if we think about it, it's quite extraordinary actually that we are still alive, no? Many people have died in their teenage years or as young adults. We are still alive. We still have this, precious human rebirth with all these freedoms, all these opportunities. Although there are so many things that could have, killed us by now. So many causes for death. Because also our body is very fragile. We can very easily get sick or get harmed by the elements or by someone or just, crossing the street. Our bodies are not that strong. Then the third point of this meditation is that at the time of death, the only thing that can really help us is our spiritual practice. Is how much we have applied the teachings of the Buddha, how much we have practiced the Dharma. Because if we look, when we pass away, we leave our body behind. Only our mind, with all the imprints we have created in this life and all the previous lives, will carry on to the next life. So therefore, even our loved ones, at the time of death, at the moment we die, not only we are abandoning our body, but we are also abandoning our loved ones. We are carrying on to a future life without anyone, that is near and dear to us in this life. So they cannot really help us, the moment we die. And as well, everything we have, everything we own, everything we enjoy around us in our lives, also that we are leaving behind, we cannot take with us. So these things, we might be super wealthy, have a super, comfortable deathbed with a great, AC with perfect temperature, everything perfect. Might help us a little bit, at the time we are dying, but once we are dead. This is completely useless for us. We cannot take any of this to the future life. So these are the 9 points we will meditate on today. And the goal, of meditating on these 9 points is to come to realize that this precious opportunity we have that we discussed last time, this precious human life, might end at any time, and therefore what is important to do in this life is to practice the dharma, but also to practice it without wasting time, like not thinking, oh, I will practice dharma in 10 years, I have to finish this and this first. Not only that, but practicing it purely, not mixed, with mundane concerns, with worldly concerns. So before we do the analytical meditation, would any one of you like to share any thought about the topic of impermanence and death? Would any one of you like to discuss a little bit before we meditate? Feel free to share anything you would like to share. If not, then we can do the meditation. And then after the meditation, again, we can take a moment and discuss. So let us come again in a comfortable posture and conducive for meditation, with the back straight. Again, we can take 3 slow breaths and deep so that the stomach rises and falls every time we breathe in and out. When we inhale, we try to refresh our attention. When we exhale, we relax. So why we do these analytical meditations is that we are, trying to take our intellectual understanding, to transform it from a theoretical level so that it becomes our experience in our heart. So we deeply understand it not only intellectually, but also from our own experience, so that it becomes a reality. So let us start by simply bringing to mind, working with the thought that this life, this present human life that we have, which is extremely precious, extremely rare to find and very difficult to find, this life with all these leisures and opportunities, it has a limited time. Let us contemplate on that. This life is not forever. This life, my life, is limited. Inevitably, it is going to end. Try to bring this fact to your mind very vividly. contemplate that this present existence is not indefinite. It will not last forever. At one point it will end. It doesn't matter how much I am attached to this life, of how much I want this life to last, this life as a limited time. Regardless of being with friends or with family, at one point this life is going to end. There is no question. For a moment, try to feel that this is actually going to happen. This life is going to end. At the moment we leave our life with the impression that it will never end. We think that when we woke up this morning and saw perhaps the sunrise, that we will always see the sunrise. When we go through our day and then in the evening we see the moon, we think it will always be that way, that we will always see the moon. We think all of this is endless. But there will come a day when we see the sun for the last time. We see the moon for the last time. This is going to happen. Death is very real, and it is going to happen to us. Take a moment to bring to mind people you know from your life who have already died. One day they were there, the next day they were gone, just like that. You can think, for example, of the Pope, who just passed away today. Yesterday he was still there, in public, with the Vice President of the US, and today he died. Try to bring to mind more people you know from your life who already passed away. And then now think of the people you know who are still alive. Think of your family, your friends, colleagues who are still alive. Then contemplate that one day, every one of these people is going to die. And so will you. There are more than 8 billion people in this world, but in about 100 years from now, all of them will be gone. Let us sit with this thought for a moment. It might seem a little bit morbid, but if we think about it, it doesn't take much to see that this is the truth. From the time of our birth, we get closer and closer to death. With every day that passes, we are one day closer to our death. With every hour, every minute, with every breath we take, we are one breath closer to death. This is not supposed to freak us out, but only so we can see that this is what happens. To take a close look that it is inevitable. Then, regarding the time of our death, let us check. What do we know? What do we really know when we will die? It's like as if there is a voice inside of our heads that tells us, I'm going to live for a long time. But how do you know? How many years more do we have? How many months, weeks, days, or maybe just some more hours? Leaving all our fantasies, hopes, and dreams aside, what do we really know about the time of our death? Life can end at any time, regardless of what our plans for the future might be. Death can come at any time. Death doesn't wait until we have finished our plans. This meditation is supposed to be a reminder, meditating that death is coming. Death is on its way. like a friend that is coming to meet us and has already left their home and calls us to say, I'm on my way. I already left. I will be there soon. Similarly, death will be there soon, and this meditation is a reminder. This present life is a very questionable phenomenon. How long are we going to be healthy enough to be able to practice meditation, to be able to work on ourselves, to explore our human existence? We don't know. The only thing we know is that the time to do so is very limited. So this awareness reminds us strongly how we should truly appreciate the present life that we have and all the opportunities that this life is giving us. Not simply trying to become more and more comfortable and more secure in samsara, enjoying distractions and pleasures, because this is ultimately losing the battle. But to actually use this life to understand reality, to understand something fundamental, to open our hearts, generating the wish to help ourselves and all beings. What will really help us when it is time to go? What will really help us when it is time to live this life forever? Our possessions we have to leave behind, the money that we earned, the things that we bought, whatever we built up in this life, all of that we will have to leave behind. We will live this life empty-handed. Think that both a king and a beggar experience death in a similar way. Also, our friends, our family, as much as we would wish them to, they cannot do much. No one can share our experience of death. Death is experienced by ourselves alone. Even if they are around us, our near and dear ones may even make it more difficult for us when we die. It might make it even more difficult to have a peaceful death, to have our near and dear ones around. We might be attached to them, but whatever happens when we die, we have to leave them behind. Even our own body, on which we relied all our life, at the time of death, it cannot help us. This body has been with us since birth. We have cared for it, we have protected it, we have worried about it. We have kept this body comfortable, healthy. But at the time of death, we will have to leave it behind as well. The one thing that we identified ourselves with the most, also that we have to leave it behind. The only thing that we can rely on at the time of death, the only thing we have is our own state of mind. How we experience the end of this life totally depends on the mind. Only when we have made our lives meaningful by understanding what is really important, developing our minds and open our hearts, training in loving kindness for others, compassion, generosity. Only then will our mind be peaceful and we will have no regrets. So, like that, look into your life with all your freedoms, all your opportunities, and ask yourself, what is most important? What is most important to me? What is the best way to use my life for myself and others? And with a sense of joy that you still have this life, bring your awareness to rest in the present moment with the thought, I can use this life most meaningfully. What do I need to do to truly reach my innermost wishes? How can I be of true benefit? let us dedicate the positive potential of doing this meditation to the goal that we are able to really take the essence of this life, to follow our heart and become the person we would like to be, our own highest vision of ourselves for the benefit of all sentient beings. Gently come out of the meditation. And now again, if anybody would like to share any thought about this meditation or about death and impermanence in general, feel free to share any thought, any remark, anything you would like to share with others. Or even if you would like to, say if this meditation had any, effect on your mind. So on Zoom, you can simply unmute yourself, at the bottom left. Otherwise, you can simply take a moment to conclude this session so that we may soon, very soon, take the essence of this life and achieve our highest potential, become fully awakened Buddhas in order to guide all sentient beings unmistakably without leaving any sentient being aside, even the tiniest insect. May the precious minds of bodhicitta and the wisdom realizing emptiness that have not arisen in our minds yet, may they arise soon. And whatever has already arisen, may it never diminish, but increase forevermore. May our spiritual teachers, such as His Holiness the Dalai Lama, have very long and healthy lives. And may they continue to teach us until samsara ends. May our spiritual guides, who showed the aspect of passing away, quickly come back to us. For example, Kyabje Lama Zopa Rinpoche. May we soon have the merit, the karma, to find his unmistaken reincarnation, so that Rinpoche may continue to teach, guide us, and also lead this organization. Finally, due to all the merits that we have accumulated in the 3 times, all the merits of the 3 times of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, may the wars that are happening around the world immediately come to an end. May there be no new war, may there be no famine, may there be no epidemic, may there be no financial crisis, may there be no natural catastrophes and disasters of the elements. And may peace and happiness prevail in everybody's hearts and lives. Thank you very much for joining, everyone. And hopefully we can very soon realize impermanence and death and take advantage of this life, not wasting this precious opportunity, not wasting time into worldly things. And tomorrow we will be having a special session here at Tushita, only in person, because we have received the holy relics from Lama Zopa Rinpoche that have come from, Kopan Monastery in Kathmandu, Nepal, where Lama Zopa Rinpoche's holy body is being embalmed for the last 2 years. In the future, Kopan will become like a pilgrimage site where devotees will be able to, pay homage. It's already the case now, although we cannot see, Rinpoche's body, holy body at the moment, as it is being embalmed, but we can already go and, pay homage to the holy body, circumambulate and so forth. But in the future also we'll be able to see it, it is being embalmed, and I guess at some point they will, put some wax around the body and it will become like a statue in a stupa. So this will happen in the coming months and years. So relics came from Kopan here to Tushita, Delhi a few days ago, and tomorrow we are inviting everyone in Delhi to join us to receive, to take blessings from these relics. And not only humans, also non-humans. We are hoping everybody will bring also their pets, dogs, cats, birds, turtles, hamsters, whatever pet you might have at home. Feel free to bring tomorrow evening at 6:30 p.m. And so the Vajrasattva session that was planned will happen next week, then, next Tuesday. And next Monday, then we will continue exploring the Lamrim. I think the topic next week will be refuge in the Three Jewels. Then next Wednesday, we'll have a special guest, Venerable Geshe Tenzin Namdak, who will teach on compassion and ultimate reality. Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. next week, the 30th of April. And then our May program is still a work in progress, so we'll update you soon. One thing that is for sure is that at the end of May, we'll have Venerable Geshe Tenzin Zopa, 31st, I think, of May. That's a Saturday, who will teach on overcoming the 3 kinds of lazinesses. So thank you very much for joining this evening, and see you soon, and see you also tomorrow morning for the online meditation at 9 a.m. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.